All right, another win in the books for Ohio State in a crowded media room. 24-10 is the win over Wisconsin for the Buckeyes as we head out of here right behind Marvin Harrison Jr., the Heisman Trophy candidate. 2 touchdowns. Ohio State wins 24-10. Ryan Day and the Buckeyes wrap it up in here with a cramped room, but a nice one. See down here, here's the locker room. It is emptied out. It was boisterous down here for as tight as this game may have been. Lots of loud cheering. They were still celebrating a difficult road win. It felt good to them. Brian Hartline heading out here. Look at it. Trying to avoid the camera. You love the camera.
Hello.
All right, so interesting night. Let's put it that way. But Ohio State not taking anything for granted with a 2-touchdown win on the road, a difficult place to play. And not only that, a lot of challenges with curveballs coming for Ohio State with a number of injuries on both sides of the football. Emeka Egbuka didn't play. Lathan Ransom left the field in a wheelchair. You can go down the list, but the stars showed up. TreVeyon Henderson comes back. He puts the game away with an electrifying touchdown run. He had over, what did he finish with, 150 yards, up close to that. Marvin Harrison with 2 touchdowns in the defense with another. Parker Fleming heading out. A little salute. Defense gives up 10 points to Wisconsin and wins another game. It's not a new approach anymore. This is the approach. Ohio State's defense leads the way. The Buckeyes get enough points on offense. So you go through the list of injuries. Kyle McCord with the left ankle looked like a re-aggravation of that. Emeka Egbuka stood close, Ryan Day said. He was not listed as questionable, but did not play a snap for the Buckeyes at wide receiver. And they go through it, and it's tied at 10. They win the second half. Ryan Day said you'd like it to be a lot prettier than it was, but they're gonna accept this and move on. They avoided a setback. They're undefeated. They're going into November, so that's what matters most to them. All right, let's dive into it on the notebook as everybody files out of here and gets on to. We've got some buses ready to go. Ohio State does not want to mess around. They want to get back as early as they can to Columbus. It is going to be a difficult travel night leaving Wisconsin, but as I said, that locker room was boisterous. The first thing going on there, Chicken Fried by the Zach Brown Band was the first song that the Buckeyes played tonight. And they were dancing around and feeling pretty good as Ryan Day came in. But I would describe him as not as exuberant for a 14-point win as it would normally seem. He knows that the offense left a lot of points on the field. Luke Montgomery. Mission Barbecue is the choice tonight, folks. Mission Barbecue. Waters and Gatorade. Burn probably needs that. See, here's a good example right here. Ohio State is a banged-up football team. You have Ty Hamilton and Tyleik Williams covered in ice on their ankles. To get through this game, not in one piece, but to win by 14 is what ultimately mattered most. Ryan Day also talked about Cade Stover. Not sure exactly what was going on there. Julian Fleming had not been listed on the injury report, but he was dealing with a shoulder injury. Keenan Bailey leaving with the tight ends playing a key role again. But Cade Stover didn't have a big impact in the passing game, so that was odd. Let's see how many more of these guys are going to come out looking exactly like that tonight, because I think the list is going to be long. We often talk about the body blows in the week after for teams that play Ohio State, and Penn State looked like they were dealing with that at Indiana earlier on Saturday. Penn State put that on Ohio State. This was not a team that was playing at 100%. There was re-aggravation there for Kyle McCord. The quarterback was pretty tough tonight. FaceTime, got to get the kids in bed. Corey Dennis. You can understand that. We've all been there. It's late in the Eastern time zone, right? Whenever you're watching this. So, all right, let's get out of their way. We're causing a problem. I don't want to do that. First half, it felt like this was a game that Ohio State could move the ball the way they wanted to and put this game away. There were missed opportunities. You can't talk about this game without talking about some of the throws that were missed, whether that was Kyle McCord making some decisions, one in the red zone that he certainly wants back. Another interception. Ryan Day said he did not blame his quarterback for that one, that Wisconsin played a different coverage and dropped a corner that they were not expecting. Said that was not one he's putting on the quarterback, but he did throw those 2 picks. That kept Wisconsin in the game and made it much more competitive than you'd think. Or It actually wound up right where the experts thought. It was a 14-point win, and the spread was 14.5. But what really I think is bothering him more than anything else, Ryan Day, about the situation at quarterback are the intentional groundings, holding the football, being a little careless with football. You can't have that when you get into championship level games and against opponents that, no offense to Wisconsin, are more equipped to compete at the top of the Big Ten or to compete for the college football playoff. You cannot be careless with the football. That happened tonight. Nobody was saying definitively that you could blame the ankle for that. But clearly after that scramble there in the second half, Kyle McCord was not as himself. He, between plays, was lifting that left leg up. He was putting it behind, lifting it in the air, leaning it to the side. He did not want to put weight on it. And Ohio State warmed up Tristan Gebbia briefly, and Kyle McCord got back on the exercise bike and stuck in and stayed in the game. The Buckeyes wound up finishing it off. Travion Henderson on the ground did that, so that was certainly a big deal as the Buckeyes got him back and got him rolling. You can tell what that adds to the rushing attack, the threat that he can break one. It wound up being a 33-yard scamper there late to push that to 14, and then the Silver Bullets did what they do, which is hold teams to 10 points and win the game. So here's another guy who's walking a little wounded. Look at it, limping here. Jack, why don't you want any credit when I say that that's maybe the best game you've played?
It's a team game. We know we're all capable individually, and a lot of times you got to sacrifice that for the team. So if the defense is playing well as a year, that's all that matters. We're winning games, we're 8-0, and we're heading into the big stretch of the season. So it's good for all of us, all of our confidence to start playing well. Why
do you think this version of the Silver Bullets is so much better than the last 2 years?
We're not thinking. Less thinking, more just playing ball, playing with confidence, knowing the system, and really just that mentality we've had going into the off season is we're going to kick dudes' asses on defense and win games on the defense side of the ball.
Is Mission Barbecue any good?
I've never had it.
Right.
We're about to find out.
All right, good luck. Thanks, Jack. Big team high 6 tackles for Jack Sawyer. Did check himself out of a game briefly, came right back in. Jerry, what do you think of Mission Barbecue?
It's going to be good. Hey, grab yourself some. There's plenty of it.
I'm not allowed to eat it, but I'll give Berm some.
Why can't you eat it?
Awaken 180. It's the weight loss plan for you.
Oh.
Have a safe flight.
All right, you guys.
We will. All right. So Buckeyes heading out. Go do this last week. I think I'll go do it again. Look at the quarter by quarter. Some of the guys that I wrote down in the first quarter. Hey, the quarterback sneak exists, and it works. Ohio State used it twice, and they got first downs on it. The 3rd and 1 situation, not quite as good when Ohio State doesn't do the quarterback sneak. How about this from Steele Chambers? Second snap of the game. Buckeyes looking for second offensive snap of the game for Wisconsin. Buckeyes looking to get the ball back after first drive peters out. Steele Chambers forces a fumble. He's still splitting some time with Cody Simon. You can say that not every snap from the linebackers is perfect, but he knocks the ball out from Braylon Allen. They get it right back. A huge play early to keep that momentum, keep the crowd out of it, at least in the first quarter. So after some of that rough stretch, we talked about Steele bouncing back just a little bit. Last week, he did that again tonight with the forced fumble, so I gave him the first quarter star. Here's Ryan Day getting ready to leave. Let's see how he is. Hey, you won with defense again tonight. Did you know that?
Is that right?
Is that your new? That's the lifestyle.
Did someone say Kyle had 15 the last 2 games in the second half?
He is a second half quarterback.
Okay, well.
Now, if you can duplicate that, he might be cooking. Congratulations! Yeah,
Put those 2 halves together, I guess.
That's right. Congratulations on the win. There's got to be a reason that he brought that up, right? Second. Oh, it's a Berm stat. Okay, behind the cameras. So that's the thing. We've talked about it, debated it. Is it okay to have would you rather have someone who comes out really hot or a great closer? Well, ideally you want both. That's what Ryan Day said. If you couldn't hear over that Ranger that was running out of here, you want to start fast and finish strong. That is probably the ideal situation. That hasn't happened for Kyle McCord, but if you're going to have some early mistakes, you want to be able to overcome that late. And he was doing that on that banged up left ankle. Who knows when that's going to get any better, but strong second half for him. So he was not the second quarter star, but Marvin Harrison Jr., pretty good. But the most important sequence of the game came right there, the last minute of the half. So Marv gets that first touchdown of 2. I'll save that for him because he can get the third quarter star for what he did there. But Wisconsin has a chance to score right before half. They'll make it 10-7. They're going to get the kickoff to start the third quarter, which wound up being their most productive drive of the game, and it wound up in the end zone. So that being 10-10, could have been 14-10 if not for that stop. Tommy Eichenberg sniffing out a little shovel pass. He stuffs Braylon Allen. Braylon Allen gets hurt on that play, does not return for Wisconsin. Pretty significant tackle all told. Forces a field goal. Luke Fickell thought about going for it, wound up taking the points. I think probably because he knew he was going to get it back, and then they had the chance to tie. But just an absolutely huge sequence. And that also came like in the middle of it. JT Tuimoloau went down. Looked like maybe a shot to the upper body, the ribs perhaps. He gets checked out by the trainers, so he wasn't even in on the third down. Did return for the field goal that was made, but that happened a lot for Ohio State. We talked about the injuries, just guys going in and out, getting banged up, and that's going to be something to monitor because it's, again, another relatively quick turnaround. They're not in their beds tonight. They're going to travel home. As you see, they're getting on the buses. They'll fly. They'll get back to Columbus at 3, 4, 5 in the morning, and then you have another road trip next week. So not the best situation. It could be worse, but this is a team that does need to get a little bit healthy. We got here Ninja Dust from One Barrel. Carbon. I heard things about this one. We're gonna have to root around in this bar back here to see if we can find one. Third quarter, man. How about Chip Traynham? So I have to give Marvin the credit for another one of the most ridiculous touchdown grabs you're ever going to see. I don't know how he got a foot down. I don't know how he maintained possession of the football going to the ground the way he did. Insane catch, critical situation. Marvin, the Heisman campaign, it's taking off again. Like a performance like this, 6'1", 123, 2 touchdowns, and he's got a brace on his left wrist. Not really sure exactly what's going on with that, but he's had the injury. Now there may be something that's a little bit impacting him. He has not mentioned that as an excuse. We talked about the drops a couple weeks ago. I mean, it's not keeping him from being insane. So, Berm likes the heat we've got in here. That's a nice little bar. The drink rail. Okay, cool. That would have been nice to hang out with for a little bit when I was stressed out trying to do snap judgments in the press box. But so that drive was extended by Chip Traynham. He got, I wrote down third down yak. He got it about 7 yards short of the sticks on a third and 8, third and 3, Berm says. And it was checked down short, plows ahead. Then the trainers checked him out for the helmet. He came right back in the game. But man, what a tough play to extend the drive. That's sort of what he does. Just he has a knack for making those tough plays that Ohio State needs. It extends the drive to get Marvin that touchdown in the fourth quarter. Man, it has to be on defense, right? Denzel Burke, it's 3rd and 8. Wisconsin's throwing deep. The fans in here, boy, oh boy, did they want a pass interference call on Denzel Burke. I thought it was hand fighting both ways. I didn't think it was pass interference. I thought it was another hell of a play by a guy who's been one of the best cornerbacks in the country when he's healthy. He came back tonight, as I said in the pregame keys. I wasn't quite sure based on the timeline that had been suggested to me that Denzel Burke was going to be ready, but he was out there and they needed him. This was a tough game and a war of attrition, as I keep mentioning. I think you got to keep that in mind about this performance. You look at it and say, Wisconsin's this, they're in the West, they've struggled against some other opponents, they maybe should have lost to Illinois last week. You come into this building and then you lose guys for stretches of the game, a key player like Emeka for all of the game. Xavier Johnson, who was filling in, he left to go to the locker room for a brief stretch before coming back. Ohio State was up against it, and I can understand people saying like, wow, that sounds like an excuse for what wasn't Ohio State's best. I'm just telling you the challenges that they faced, and nobody in that locker room afterwards was complaining about beating Wisconsin by 14. Do they want the offense to take the next step? Of course they do. And I think part of that will come by once you added Travion Henderson back out there, what happened? The rushing game got better. Once you put Emeka Egbuka back out there, or Julian Fleming gets healthy again, if that's the case moving forward, like, imagine what more this team can do. I think that's the way that they're approaching it, and the fact that they're 8-0 is what truly matters to them most. So they came in to this place, which is just an absolutely awesome place to cover a game, to attend a game. Up there, I thought that place was going to fall off the top of this stadium. You see the jump around sign here? This is my first time seeing it and swaying. When they say that it feels like an earthquake, that is absolutely the case. I loved seeing it. The passion here. It was a tight game. This place was still full. They were all jumping around, everybody in here, and the press box was rocking. I think Madison, Wisconsin is a great college football town, and Ohio State is very glad to leave it with a 14-point win. They'll close the book on October. They'll get ready for November. They're heading to Rutgers next week, and so are we. So the podcast will have full coverage of that. We really appreciate you joining us for the Notebook. We have a lot more coverage coming as we close the book on a win for Ohio State, 24-10 at Wisconsin. Sunday Blitz coming, and then get ready for some rewatch. Doug and Bill are going to take questions on the Monday Daily, so you can send that to subtext. They'll get to those and address all that. While Berman and I head back from chilly Madison, Wisconsin, to get back into Ohio for all coverage looking ahead to Rutgers. But that's it for the Notebook. I am Austin Ward. Ohio State wins 24-10. We'll talk to you later.